Historic Gehring Cemetery. The oldest dated burial on this property was in 1839, but the many rough stone markers indicate earlier burials that may predate the 1830s. In 1845, Hiram Gehring, a Methodist circuit riding preacher from Tennessee, established a church called Gehring Chapel west of the cemetery. In the early 1900s, part of the original Gehring Chapel land was sold to Charles S. Stearns, and the Gehring Chapel Cemetery was then called the Stearns Cemetery. In 2013, Christian Life Cathedral was given stewardship of this property. We take these miraculous moments for granted often, but they're all around us. I mean, even in this room right now, the celebration of socioeconomic diversities that are here, racial diversities, the various religious expressions and cultures that we come from, all of us. If you know it or not, if you've looked around, we're becoming more of an international, there's a lot of international influence in our church as well, made a way for all of us to understand value. I am excited, if you know this or not, that next Sunday at 2 o'clock. Why did we buy this property on this hill? Because we thought it was a good location. But why did we build this building right here where we did? I'll tell you why we built it here, to try to hide that cemetery. And we've hidden that cemetery, and a lot of people didn't even know it was behind us. So we butted up as close as we could to it, and a lot of people didn't know it was there. And if you don't know the story, then the cell tower people came along a few years ago. They wanted to put a tower back in the back part of our property, which is the highest part of this hill. And they came back with this survey that is so technical and cost them tens of thousands of dollars to do. And they said, we can't do this. And when they said we can't do it, because there are bodies that are buried all over this field right here. We can't get close to that. We asked, Dad was the one who had a conversation with them, said, can we have that paperwork? And they said, well, sure. It's no good to anybody else. And they gave us the paperwork. We've got the paperwork. We can show you the maps where bodies are laid, but they're not laid out like a cemetery where we keep the records on the names and the dates and who, but they're just scattered all over, and they're man-made holes that are dug in different sizes, and you can see Mother Earth being, it's pretty interesting.
Without hypocrisy, mercy and forgiveness begin with you and me.
None of us deserve it, but I want to tell you, He has made a way for all of us. And we've hidden that cemetery, and a lot of people didn't even know it was behind us. So we butted up as close as we could to it, and a lot of people didn't know it was there. And they said we can't do it because there are bodies that are buried all over this field right here. We can't get close to that. We asked, Dad was the one who had a conversation with them, said, can we have that paperwork? And they said, well, sure. And it's right for us to say you deserve the recognition that you didn't get when some mother or father dug this hole and dropped your body in it. We don't know your name, but we know the circumstances around a lot of your life that brought it to this position. But we pause and we want you to know. And we want others that we don't know that are affected by your life. We place value on you because you're a child of God.
Cling to what is good.
This thing that's so much on my heart of racial reconciliation. So that has been one of the earmarks of this church for 30 years. And all we have done is tried to be obedient. And to be honest with you, all our congregation has done is try to learn to walk in love, people in a special way. And it just hit me. We have an opportunity as a church to do our part. Let's drive a stake in the ground. Let's do something to say we recognize the value of human life, and we celebrate how far God has brought us. But in order to go further, we need to declare we'll never go back to where we were before.
To become one holy race. Let us be the generation of reconciliation and peace. Oh yeah. Let us be the generation of reconciliation and peace.